Hey everybody, welcome to today's GoTarryn TV show. I'm Taryn the Traveling Trainer, and you probably might not recognize where I'm at because I'm in the GoTarryn headquarters office, only it's flipped around and reversed. I'm usually sitting over there and the camera's usually over there. So the reason why it's like this is because today I've got part 2 of the interview with Tony and Uzi from Tequesta, Florida. And fortunately, I've got to say that we've got this fixed. I used the Skype recorder, and again, for those of you who, just thank you for being patient and bearing with me. Again, I'm trying to learn this as best as possible, but I'm so happy because I've got Tony on the line right here. He's coming on any second, and I could see that my video recorder is set to record and work. It didn't work yesterday, and you know what? That was our test pilot. That was our audio podcast, you could say that, for part 1. But hey, for part 2, I'm really looking forward to speaking to Tony here. He's going to be a frequent guest on my GoTarryn TV show on these Skype video conference calls. So without any further ado, we're going to get that going here any second. But first, let's watch this quick bumper reel so that you can remember what you're watching here on GoTarryn TV, and we'll be right back with Tony. Hey everybody, happy Friday, February 27th. My name is Taryn the Traveling Trainer. On the other side of the screen, as you can see, this is Tony Uzi. Here he is, back for part 2 of our conversation. And yesterday, I owe everybody a big apology. I owe Tony a huge apology because, as you know, I gave everybody the preface that I was trying to work with this new Skype recorder program. It's called Super 1010. And Tony's been able to help me out to figure out how we get this going. So as far as I can tell right now, it looks like we are good. I see both of our beautiful faces here. Unfortunately, Tony, everybody had to see my ugly mug yesterday and didn't get to see you at all. So this is the very first time that they're bringing you on. This is part 2, Tony. I want you to just go right into it. I'm going to ask you, just little filler reminders, for some of the things that we talked about, topics yesterday. I'm going to let you take it away, take all the time you need. Again, I'm so happy that this is working finally. Thank you for your patience, Tony. Take it away.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for not only including me in your inaugural experiment, but also having me back on so soon so that we can capture the video and so everybody can see my... I got to tell you that when you first broke the news that the video didn't work for our first go-around, I was disappointed, but at the same time, I want to say I was just a bit relieved because, I didn't know how, I didn't want to scare your viewers off with this bearded face. I really didn't. And I know my family, and especially Katie, always tell me, why do you put yourself down? Stop putting yourself down. But really, I think of it as keeping my ego in check. I've been through a lot, and I've been through a lot of wonderful, amazing things just as much. And I don't want to get a big ego, a big head. I don't want to think too much of myself, maybe drive people away. That's why I go into self-deprecation. And that's just something I wanted to bring out first and foremost.
All right, Tony. Well, that's great. Again, everybody got to hear our topic yesterday. We did roughly about 30 minutes and got to talk about our friendship, your history with all the different cardio challenges that you've had, what brought you here, how that tied into exercise and fitness. And then, you and I spoke a little bit more and said, hey, you know what, let's turn this challenge around into a triumph, and we are here for part 2. Again, I said I wanted to have you back on for a future video Skype pretty soon, and what better way to bring you on the very next day here on this Friday.
Well, I appreciate it, and again, I'm sounding like a broken record now. I am very pleased and proud to be part of this inaugural experiment.
Excellent.
And with you.
That's great to have you on. So, Tony, there was something that you had mentioned about cardio vision. If you could expound upon that and jump right into it, I'll let you. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Yes, something I wanted to get into our last episode, which I forgot about. We got into too much about our personal friendship, and this is something I'm glad I'm able to share now. This actually happened this past August, this summer. August. For some mysterious reason, I went into AFib, which for people who don't know is atrial fibrillation. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. You would know probably better than me anyway.
Absolutely.
I went into AFib. It was very mysterious as to why, because all of a sudden it just happened. I went to the gym one day despite a rapid heartbeat. I thought, okay, I'm not going to use this as an excuse. I'm going to walk to the gym, weight training, and I'm going to walk back home. But I could barely walk across my parking lot. I get to the gym, and I could barely do one machine. And I just walked right out, walked home as gracefully as I could. Thankfully, because you know, usually I don't want to let something go more than it should as far as something medical getting it checked out. Luckily, I was due for a blood draw. I take a blood thinner, and I have it monitored every month through blood work. And I was due for one of those. At the time, I went straight to my cardiologist to get it all done because it was quick and easy and everybody was friendly. And so I figured, okay, I'm going there for the, it's called an INR. For the INR, I'm going there anyway. I'll just bring it up to them then. And I didn't even have to say anything. They sat me down. They took the blood. They drew what they had to. And then just like always, we ended it with a blood pressure check. And the nurse, the phlebotomist, said, whoa, this is rather high. Your pulse is going rapidly. Let's see what's up. And long story short, they gave me an impromptu EKG test. The results of those were scary, so they called in a cardiologist, who luckily was there that day. And we met impromptu, and he said, "Okay, well, don't do anything else. I'm going to call these in. Go straight to your pharmacy, your Walgreens. Get these, take them. Do not pass go. Do not run any other errands." And when I got out of there, another part of it was my mom lives up in Vermont, so she wasn't around. Anyway, my father, who lives about 15 minutes from where I do, he has a summer property in Germany, and he goes there every year because he has some business ventures in Germany. And he goes on what is basically a working vacation. So he was not in town. I had my sister, I had Katie, and I had Katie's family. So after the cardiologist says, go to the Walgreens, get these, take them, don't do anything else, I made a judgment call. Like, okay, I gotta call somebody to know what's going on. I should have called my mother. I called my dad instead, and I basically got him all worried and worked up. And he called my mother, who got all worried and worked up, understandably so. And the thing was, I was on my way to Walgreens, and this is just something about me, when I'm driving, I don't use the phone in any circumstance. So I had my phone off, I was driving to the pharmacy. My mom was trying to get in touch with me. She couldn't, obviously. So she calls Katie in a panic, who then calms my mother down and says, if I know him like I think I do, if he's not answering his phone, it's because he's driving somewhere. And so then when she was able to reach me, she tried to read me the riot act, saying, how could you not answer your phone? I said, well, this is what Dr. Agarwal told me to do. I was just following his instructions, and I don't answer the phone when I drive. So basically, just to speed up the story, before I left, he told me to take what he prescribed, and he would see me on Friday, which was a couple, 3-4 days afterward. I went back on Friday, and I wasn't improving or not improving enough for there still to be a concern. So I said, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to set you up with a cardioversion, which, again, for those who don't know, is basically a procedure that shocks the heart, an electrical current through the heart to shock it back into normal rhythm. So no, I would no longer have a rapid heartbeat.
I've never heard of that, Tony. Say again, can you pronounce that one more time what that was called?
It was called a cardioversion.
Cardioversion. Okay, I was pronouncing it incorrectly earlier. That's what I thought. Okay, gotcha.
Now, it's basically a mild electrical shock to the heart to shock it back to a normal
Wow.
beat, rhythm. And basically, everything just happened so fast. Like, okay, EKG, blood pressure, pulse, EKG, get this medicine, take it, come back. I came back. He didn't like what he saw, so he said, I'm going to schedule you for a cardioversion.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm scheduling this, the reservation for the hospital, I've got my mother on the phone from Vermont, and she's asking me what's happening. And I said, well, just wait with me. They're making all the arrangements. I'll let you know what I know. I had her on the phone with me. Luckily, I was able to be booked into the hospital my future father-in-law practices at.
Mm-hmm.
So he and Katie's whole family, just out of concern for me as a future member of the family, once I got in there, her mother came to my room and just to see how I was doing. And as I got prepped and put into the holding area before I was to go into the operating room or the exam room,
Mm-hmm.
my future father-in-law in his full scrubs in between rounds, normal day for him, he comes to my bedside and he has a unique sense of humor himself. He comes up full scrubs. He goes, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm okay, I guess. Yeah, I talked to the doctors. I told them not to give you any anesthesia. I think you should take it like a man.
Oh my God.
Big joke. And the thing was, I get in there, and it's this it's this nice, kind doctor specialist with this Israeli accent, and I only say that to illustrate how funny it sounded as I'm lying there.
Yeah.
And they've got an IV running, and they pump what feels like what's supposed to be the anesthetic. And as I'm gradually getting more and more tired, I'm asking, is that the anesthetic? Is that what you just pumped me with? And this doctor with his accent, which just seems funny to me now, he said, I thought the doctor, meaning my future father-in-law, I thought the doctor said to give you no anesthesia.
Oh.
And of course I'm thinking, oh great, he probably thinks I'm serious, or that he was serious.
Oh,
And the thing
man.
was, he's trying to, keep me calm and focused on him. He's asking, asking me about my family, and I'm mumbling something about apple juice. So I don't even know. I'm gradually getting weaker.
Oh my God.
And the thing was, well, the whole point is I was still semi-conscious, and all of a sudden, bang! I felt my knees came onto my chest.
Oh, wow.
It felt like I was being stabbed with pins and needles that were on fire.
Oh, man.
So, but I can laugh about it now. The whole family joke became, I go back to Katie's dad, and the whole joke became, gee, look what you did. But no, I was fortunate because my mom flew down despite me saying, no, no, you don't have to. Katie's family is with me. I have them.
Yeah.
She flew down. Her parents kept a close eye on me. Katie was by my side, and it was a fortunate situation. What was a very unfortunate situation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a lot of good came out of what was very unexpected and hard to deal with if I was on my own. So everything worked out well.
Well, for all that to have happened and for you to sit here, you are like the most well-adjusted person who deals with conflict resolution, and here you are, being able to just go through all that adversity and survive. I mean, that's tremendous. That speaks volumes. So again, I'm really happy that you're able to share this with some of the other people that probably relate to going through similar situations. And there was another thing too. I had on my notes here. You had said to remind you of Mike Tyson, and I had that written down. Can you tell me about what you've got as far as that story is
Yes,
concerned?
well,
I'm really curious about that.
I should preface this by saying that everybody, all my friends and everybody who follows me on Facebook probably know this story ad nauseum. So if they're watching now, I apologize to be telling the story again. You can mute it if you can mute this episode now if you want. I would not be offended. But for anybody who is watching for the first time and haven't heard the story and they're curious, I bring this up because it does go with my recovery from my fourth heart surgery. As weird as that sounds, was it was Christmas. It was just after Christmas, the year 2000. It was in between Christmas and New Year. I was still based primarily in Connecticut, where I grew up. I was visiting my dad with my sister in Florida, which ironically is the area I live in right now. But at the time, I was just visiting, and it was a chance to spend the holidays with my father and my stepmother, who at the time I didn't see very often. And we had a good Christmas, but then afterward, I don't want to say there was a depression, but there was a sort of a down note after the high of the holidays, if that makes sense. My sister and I, we were enjoying the time we had, but at the same time, we were bored. We were like, okay, Christmas was good, but kind of, what now? And my dad and my stepmother were arguing over where to spend New Year's and this and that. And the point is that we were just sort of in a holding pattern. And one day, my sister comes to me one afternoon, and I'm half focused on the television and enjoying my dad's great cable package at the time. And my sister comes to me and says, "Okay, I'm borrowing Dad's car, and we're going out. I'm taking you out of here. We're having an airing, an outing, and so you're coming with me." Not sort of a purposely defeatist attitude. I just didn't want to do much of anything at that point in time.
Sure.
I'm flipping the channels and said, "No, I just want to stay here." And I think I actually said, "I just want to stay here and be miserable." Which finally she had to drag me by the wrist, pull me by the wrist, drive me to the car. And we end up, we make a couple of stops first, but we end up at the Gardens Mall, Palm Beach Gardens, which is a place I've been to now ad nauseum many, many times. But to us, it was still relatively new, and we just went there to look around and just be out of the house. And so there's a directory stand, and we decide, okay, we're going to be back here in an hour, and we're going to have lunch afterward. So I'm walking around. We split up. I'm walking around, And as nice as it is to be out, I really didn't feel much like looking at anything, buying anything. And I'd walked around for about a half hour thinking, okay, this is less time than we said we would spend, but I'm going to go back to our designated meeting spot, and I'm just going to wait. So, and I mentioned this because it was right after, you know, I was fully recovered enough to be even flying on a plane going to Florida after my heart surgery. And everyone was still kind of fussing over me because I couldn't walk certain distances, or if I did, I would have to, I would be ordered to take a break and rest and this and that. So even before we split up for that time in the mall, even walking across the parking lot, it's like, is this too much? Do you need a rest? And this and that. So we split up. I spent a half hour looking around. She does her own thing. So I decide, okay, I'm going to go back to our meeting spot up on the second floor, and to even get to the escalators, I had to walk up the length of the second floor just to get back up. So I reached the other end of the level, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to be stupid. I'm not going to be a hero. Instead of taking the stairs, I'm going to take the elevator. So I'm waiting for the elevator, and there's two elevators. There's one elevator, and then there's one to the other side of I think a fountain, a decorative ornamental fountain in the middle of the level of the mall. So I'm standing by the first elevator, and I'm hearing people saying things like, I got his autograph, or I just want to shake his hand. And I'm thinking, okay, what are these people talking about? And over by the other elevators, this mob of people, and I decided to venture closer and closer to this mob because all I can see is a sea of people. I don't know what's causing the commotion. I don't know who else is there. And as I get closer, I see two big guys in suits, which are obviously bodyguards to somebody. Right. And I hear somebody saying, no, man, you got yours, move along, please. And so I finally get close enough where I see that the person attracting all this attention is the former heavyweight boxing champ, infamous guy in his own right, Iron Mike Tyson.
Wow, that's amazing.
And against my better judgment at the time, I decided to be brave and join this crowd. Because I don't know why he's there. Later I sort of surmised that maybe he was just trying to shop like a normal person, and he was gracious enough to meet these fans of his. And I'm building the story, I'm sorry. But anyway, so I'm brave enough to get close enough to be amongst this mob. And I'm a very skinny fellow. And I was probably the only Caucasian guy in the group. But I say I'm a very skinny fellow because I can blend in as easily as anything. And I was able to go to the front of the pack, and I ended up into the front of the commotion to where I'm face to face with Mr. Tyson.
Oh, cool.
And again, I can't, even though I can't believe how brave and brazen and how much chutzpah I have to even be, doing that much. But anyway, so I'm up right in front of him, face to face. He's trying to deal with everybody to say, oh, please sign this, please sign that. And here I am just trying to see what's going on. So again, I'm not even quite sure what this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But again, I'm trying to be brave, and I stick my hand out. I stick my hand out for a handshake. And to my complete surprise, he faces me. This is when he still had a head of hair. This is before the crazy tattoo. He sticks his hand, again, I'm off on tangents, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
Right. He sticks it. And he sticks his hand out, and or no, I stick my hand out. He grabs it, and which I think just for a simple handshake. But he holds on to me, pulls me towards him, spins me around to where I am. He's behind me, and I'm facing the crowd, and he's got me in this one-armed, awkward man hug, where he's got this huge forearm across my chest, and where it would have been a great picture if anybody had a camera.
Oh, that's awesome.
But unfortunately, in 2000, smartphones didn't exist yet.
Oh, man.
That's not even the end of the story. So it was maybe an awkward 30 seconds. Again, I still didn't quite grasp what was going on. But finally, he lets me go. And I figured, I think to myself, you got to at least ask for an autograph after that.
Of course.
The only piece of paper I had on me was a dollar bill that I had in my wallet.
Oh, no.
I take out a dollar bill, and I give it to him, not totally expecting. I think, remembering it now, I think maybe it was that I thought that he was charged. This was a personal appearance, and he was charging for a signature, and I was just trying to see what money I had. Just offer him, because again, I didn't know what was going on. So I fished out a dollar bill. I gave it to him again. Crazy. I didn't know what was going on. It all happened so fast. I give him a dollar bill, and he takes a pen and he writes his signature out, gives me the dollar back, and again, it all happened so fast. I had no idea what was going on, except I was able to give him a sincere thank you very much. And I was so excited by what had just happened that I had so much adrenaline built up inside myself.
I can imagine. Wow.
I forgot all about needing to use the elevator, and I took the stairs.
Wow, unbelievable.
Up to the upper level,
Oh,
back
wow.
to where that's where I was gonna meet my sister, and to hear my sister tell it. I mean, she tells the story, and from her point of view, she had actually gone back to our meeting area and not found me there. And I guess because of this little detour, I'd taken more time than I thought. And so she, I guess she leaves to see if she can find me or where I went. And because what I remember is I went back to the meeting spot, nobody was there, and I just stood and waited, just sort of happily with a smile on my face, looking at this dollar bill with Mike Tyson's signature on it, wondering how could I get so lucky. And so finally my sister comes and we meet up. Do you have any idea who is here right now? So I explained what happened, and she thought it was amazing. We go to the food court, we have lunch, and then we go home.
Huh.
And so as we're leaving to go back to where we parked our car, Mr. Tyson gets detained again by another group of people.
Oh, no.
So we're at least Laura, my sister could see. See, I was telling the truth. There he is. So we got to the parking lot towards our father's car, And she keeps telling me, "Aren't you glad I made you go outside today? Aren't you glad I made you go outside today?" So yes, and so we get home. We get home from the vacation, and my sister leaves. She left. She took a later plane ride, so she actually got home later than I did. And I hadn't told anybody the story because, well, I didn't want to make it seem like a big deal, at least at first. But my sister told our mother, and I really didn't want to make a big deal of it, especially since the man had his own troubles. I didn't want to seem like I was whatever. But so anyway, my sister tells our mother the story. And she even thinks it's totally amazing and unbelievable. And so later she tells me, my mother tells me that no matter how broke you may get in life, no matter how hard up you might be, especially for money, whatever, you will always have $1 to your name. $1 to your name because of Mike Tyson.
Oh man, that is awesome. I love it.
And I still have the signed dollar.
Oh, wow, wow. Next time I bring you back on here, I want you to ask, I want to see if you could maybe find it, and that way you can show it to the viewers out here, because I want to see it too. I got to see it for myself. But that's an amazing story, Tony. Wow. Well, hey, again, he's had his troubles, but then again, for that, couple of minutes that he spent with you, at least he was a really cool guy, it sounded like.
He was very nice person.
He didn't have to be like that, but that's awesome. I can't get over, that must have just been, that's something that you'll never forget, for sure.
Definitely.
Wow. Well, Tony, man, I'll tell you what, I can't say enough how excited and happy that I was able to finally get this to work, and I'm really happy that we got this one to work versus yesterday, because although I thoroughly enjoyed our first Skype conversation yesterday, this one was more fun. Your stories were more wild and crazy, and I think that a lot more people will appreciate being able to see this part 2 of our video Skype conversation together. And I cannot wait to have you back on here again for a very future, soon blog, if you don't mind me bringing you back on here.
Anytime. As long as I have an invitation, I would love to come back.
Perfect. Well, you're on the list. I'm going to put you down and get you back on here very soon, because I'm sure we're going to have more GoTarryn viewers asking about you. And speaking of which, if they need to keep in touch with you, I always like to do this at the end whenever I'm interviewing anybody on a format. I want to make sure that I get their contact information out. If you want to give out any information you want, like if you got a Google Plus account number or a Skype ID that you want to give out, phone number, feel free. Take it away, and how can the people out there reach you, Tony?
Well, again, like I alluded to in our last show, I don't really have an established brand, especially to the extent that you have it, but I do have a lot of fingers in social media, and if people want to get in touch with me, I welcome that, and they can do so not only with Facebook, Tony Yanuzzi, Y-A-N-N-U-Z-Z. I'm sure you've had my name up on the screen. Tony Yanuzzi on Facebook. Twitter, I use Twitter a lot. As I said, I sync it with Facebook. They can get to me on Twitter at Sayscalled, SAYSCALLED, one word. Actually, if I may, my sister has her own comedy YouTube channel that, if I may plug.
Yes, please.
I just want to say that the humor may not be for all viewers, but definitely at least somebody our age and up would appreciate what she has to offer in her videos.
Yes.
You can reach her on YouTube at one word, Piper the Storyteller. Piper, the Storyteller.
And that's all one word, Piper the Storyteller. They look that up on YouTube.
Yes.
I'm going to look that up too. I think I'm subscribed to her, but just to make sure, I get her videos That's excellent. Very good. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. You know what? That'd be great to have her on here sometime too.
Maybe so.
Yeah, I'd like that. Well, Tony, we did it, man. Again, I'm so grateful, appreciative, and again, for everybody watching, thanks for your patience. Finally got to meet one of my best friends of over 20 years, Tony Annuzzi from Tequesta, Florida. Tony, as we wrap up, I'll tell you what, why don't we say it simultaneously in sync, the greatest tagline in the personal training industry, and I'll start us off and we could go right into it. Let's say it together, Tony. With GoTarryn Personal Training, it's your time, it's your investment, and it's your life. Yes, perfect, Tony. Thank you, sir. We will see you again soon.
All right.
Take care now.
Take care.